Sup, y'all? Bring you guys another video. Saul Canelo Alvarez is now the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, having all the four recognized belts: WBC, WBO, WBA, and now IBF titles, and he did it in less than a year, in 11 months. Think about that. 11 months. Canelo stopped Caleb Plant in the 11th round, was able to knock him down twice before the referee, Russell Moa, stopped the fight. A left hook landed landed in the top of the head of Caleb Plant that rocked him, and Canelo followed up with a right hand and followed up with a good combination that dropped Caleb Plant. Plant was able to get up from the first knockdown. Referee let the fight continue, and Canelo went for the kill, and he went for the kill, man. He really wanted to get that stoppage win, which he did. Landed a big left and followed up with a very good combination, dropped Caleb Plant once again. Referee decided to wave off the fight. Now, I think Caleb Plant could have stood up. I'm pretty sure he would have stood up, and but the referee thought it was best to stop it at that time. And if he did stood up and wanted to continue, he would just be taking unnecessary punishment at that point, considering that there was like almost 2 minutes left in the round. So yeah, Plant was gonna get knocked out either way, whether it was at that moment or later on in that round. So anyway, very, 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 very good win for Canelo. The knockout came later than expected. I was hoping for round number 7, or I predicted round number 7. 5, I think originally I thought 5, then later on I thought 7, and the stoppage came at round number 11. And yeah, man, what can I say? I mean, the fight was competitive, don't get me wrong. I think you can argue that it was a close fight, but you can tell that the momentum was heading towards Canelo after the first half of the fight. First half of the fight, it was mainly Caleb Plant, in my opinion. I thought he won the majority of the first half by being more active, landing more punches. Canelo always starts slow. He does. And, Plant was working on him. And Plant's punches just couldn't affect Canelo, man. Plant just didn't have the power to hurt Canelo. He didn't have. I mean, he was landing some good jabs here and there, landing some good uppercuts. But Canelo took them like it was nothing. And whenever Canelo landed something big, you can tell Plant was being affected by the punches. You can tell that his body was all marked up. You can tell that he was reacting to some of the body shots. And eventually Canelo was able to land that big left that led to the stoppage win. And I believe the judges had Canelo winning. All 3 judges had Canelo winning 96-94, 97-93, 98-92. And I could definitely see you having those scorecards. Heck, I could see you having it 95-95 if you're being generous towards towards Caleb Plant in that 10th round. After the 10th round, I could see you having it 5-5, but that's only if you're being generous towards Caleb Plant. If you have Caleb Plant winning this fight prior to the stoppage, man, you must be, I don't know what you were watching. But yeah, Canelo, man, just showed that he is the best fighter in the world today. He is one of Mexico's greatest now, in my opinion, being undisputed champion. Definitely up there among the greats. With this win, he solidifies himself up there among Mexico's greats, alongside with Barrera, Morales, Juan Manuel Marquez, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Now, is he number 1 pound for? Is he the number 1 boxer of all time for Mexico? Not yet, in my opinion. But once everything's all said and done for Canelo's career, I think he will be ranked higher than Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. In my opinion. I mean, right now he's in his 60th professional fight. He's been fighting top competition. He's been fighting champions, former champions. Like I said earlier, in less than a year, he went on a mission to be undisputed at 168 pounds, beating Callum Smith back in December 2020, beating Avni Yildirim for the WBC No. He defended against his mandatory against Yildirim WBC mandatory. He won the vacant title against vacant WBC against Callum Smith, and he won the WBO. Oh, he won the WBC, the vacant WBC and WBA belts against Callum Smith. Defended the belts against Abner Yildirim. Won the WBO title against Billy Joe Saunders, and he won the IBF title against Caleb Plant. Crazy. And three of those fighters, keep in mind, three of those fighters, the champions, were undefeated. Undefeated, and he gave them their first L. Man. Canelo, man, this guy is just insane. Caleb Plant suffered his first loss in his pro career, not the end of the world. Why is it showing he's 29 here? But I think they were showing that he's 31. Something like that. There's no way. Is he 29? I don't think he's 29, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, Caleb Plant, it's not the end of the world. I think he said he wanted to continue fighting and all that, but continue fighting after getting knocked down twice. But great effort from Caleb Plant. Great effort. Props to him for lasting longer than I expected. His defense was pretty damn good. Obviously until that 11th round. But yeah, I think Caleb Plant would, still a top fighter at 168 pounds, but obviously not good enough to beat Canelo. And I'm looking at some comments on social media, man. I'm seeing a lot of people saying like, "Oh, Caleb Plant, he exposed Canelo," And I'm like, dude, you guys didn't watch the fucking fight. That's what you didn't do, dumbass. There's just so many Canelo haters, man. It's crazy. Canelo is obviously the best right now, and a lot of people just can't admit that, man. It's insane, man. And where did all these Caleb Plant fans come from all of a sudden? They're more like Canelo haters than Caleb Plant fans. That's what it looks like. Anyway. I think Canelo mentioned. I think they just ended the press conference, the post-fight press conference, and I think Canelo mentioned that he plans to be back in May. It looks like I think there were some rumors saying that he might be back in February, leading up to this event, leading up to this fight, but looks like Canelo will be back in May for Cinco de Mayo weekend. He said that he believes that he deserves a long rest after going out there and being undisputed and conquering the whole division in less than a year. Man. Number one, man. He's clearly number one. Clearly number one. At number two, you can have Usyk. You can have Crawford at number two. But number one, definitely Canelo. Man. Viva Mexico, cabrones!